What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to Late's Hoops. Today's video, we're going to be discussing each and every single NBA playoff team's X Factor for the Eastern Conference. We just dropped a video 2 days ago speaking about the same topic. However, it was the Western Conference. If you haven't already seen it, please be sure to check it out. In today's video, we're going to be going through 9 teams out East. I was going to include the Bulls in this, but I'm just going to be talking about the Raptors as the 9th seed because I can't really see the Bulls winning in the play-in. If they are to win, just like I said the same thing about the Thunder, if they are to win and they're not included in this video, you guys can roast me when the playoff starts. I just believe that the Raptors and or Hawks and or Heat would all beat the Bulls in this playoff series. We're going to be going in order from the 1st seed all the way down to the 9th seed. So without further ado, the first player we're going to be talking about is the Milwaukee Bucks' X Factor, and I believe that is none other than Bobby Portis. First and foremost, I think back to a game like Game 5 of the playoff series between the Hawks and the Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo is injured. He can't make this game. Someone needs to come in at that power forward position and just inspire hope into this team. And Bobby Portis comes in, and in 36 minutes, he puts up 22 points and 8 rebounds and also dishes out 3 assists. Bobby Portis, there's not enough great things to be said about him. If you're watching this video right now and you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan, I'm sure you're nodding your head just understanding how instrumental and how crucial this man is to your guys' success. The energy he brings on the bench, on the court, off the floor, in post game, he's always picking his teammates up. He knocks down big threes. He grabs offensive rebounds. He plays amazing defense in the inside. He's very vocal. He communicates a ton. Bobby Portis is one of the most talented. He should be in the conversation for 6th man of the year, but Malcolm Brogdon is kind of running away with that award. He is just an absolutely gifted player on both sides of the ball, and he will have an NBA career as long as he wants one. There is no doubt in my mind about that. Shouts out to Bobby Portis. The second X Factor we're going to be talking about today is for the Boston Celtics, and originally I was going to say Derek White, but I think that he is so great that he is going to play fine. The real X Factor, however, is Robert Williams, and I feel like with the Time Lord, the health is the biggest thing that is crucial. We saw in a game like the one they just had the other night against the Philadelphia 76ers, Joel Embiid poured 52 points on the Robert Williams-less Celtics, and it's crucial that he's playing in those games because of how dominated the East is by big men. I can't stress this enough. If Grant Williams is out there as the primary defender on Giannis or Embiid or even Bam Adebayo, it is going to be a nightmare for this Boston Celtics team come postseason. Right now, I'm going to play a couple clips from James Harden and Kyrie Irving when they were teammates on the Nets, and you can just hear in what they say how much praise they have for Robert Williams and his defensive ability.
But his timing is amazing. You know, it's great to see a big that's that active in our game, and he challenges you at the rim every single time. So just going to test our IQ.
Played very, very well. He just very athletic, which we knew, but he contested everything, both at the rim and on the perimeter. So
as you can hear by that, you clearly can understand how important Robert Williams is. If 2 of the game's most gifted and talented scorers are talking about his presence not only in the paint but on the perimeter as well, Robert Williams is just tremendously gifted, and this Celtics defense is night and day when he's on that court, especially when he's paired along with Al Horford down low. As the 3 seed and the 3rd X Factor we're going to be talking about today for the Philadelphia 76ers, I think PJ Tucker and Tobias Harris are the biggest X Factors. Now, I would say James Harden has the most pressure to perform in the playoffs, but I think as far as the X Factors go, if we're dismissing Joel Embiid's health and Harden's ability to play, I believe that Tobias and PJ are just so crucial to this team's success. Even though PJ is not someone who shows up on the stat sheet a tremendous amount, his ability to just switch on defense and grab boards and play bigger than his height is really irreplaceable. And as for Tobias Harris, if he is not knocking down those good looks that James Harden's feeding him, if he's not being a spark plug and putting up 14 to 20 points a night, I feel like it's going to be really hard for this team to find success come playoff time. And the playoffs, each and every single possession matters more than the last, especially as we're stretching down the games. The East is tremendously top heavy, and if they have to verse the Celtics and Bucks in the playoffs, they're going to need both of these guys on their A game if they want any chance at winning. At the 4th seed, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I have to say that I think the X factor for them, and shout out Not Dom if you're watching this right now, because I totally agree with you. I think that Donovan Mitchell is the biggest X factor for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I say that in specific because you trade an insurmountable amount of talent. I mean, you give up Colin Sexton on a sign and trade. You give up Lauri Markkanen, who's now a first-time All-Star. You give up Ochai Agbaji, who he hasn't really, gotten his reps and runs yet, but I do think he'll be a talented player. Not to mention, you gave up some draft capital as well. When I watch the Cleveland Cavaliers play, it seems like their performance is dictated truly from Donovan Mitchell. It seems like there's nights where he's boasting any shot he wants, it's going in. And then there's nights where I feel like I watch him chuck 30-footer after 30-footer trying to desperately carve the Cavs a win, bail them out, help them win, come back. But it's nights where Donovan has 30 points on like 8 for 20 shooting. And then there's nights where he has 40 and he's shooting like 15 for 25. It's his efficiency, it just dwindles and changes and it's not very consistent. So I think this postseason, especially as the man with the most experience, because if you look at this overall Cavaliers roster, now that Kevin Love is gone, there is no one on this roster that has a ton of postseason experience other than Donovan Mitchell. Like, you look at the core of Mobley and Garland and Allen, my apologies for the stutter there, they have seen nothing but an early exit to that Brooklyn Nets team. The playoffs, it's completely different. And Donovan Mitchell is the X factor in the sense that he's going to have to lead this team to victory. And if they don't, it's fine because it is their first year together. I think they passed everyone's expectation. My apologies for the stutter again. And I think Donovan's a really great player. In the 5th team out east, it's kind of the same situation as Donovan Mitchell, where we don't know which version of this player we're going to get. I think the X factor for the Knicks is Julius Randle. I think that Jalen Brunson has a great game. We've seen in that Mavericks, each 3 of those Mavericks series last season, how great of a point guard Jalen can be. And obviously this season, he's blowing everyone's idea of what he could have been out of the water. But I think with Julius Randle, it really depends on if we're going to see that Julius Randle that's taking every single shot like Donovan Mitchell and trying to bail his team out, or if we're going to see a version of Julius Randle that's putting up 27 and 14 or 27 and 12 and, playing team basketball and being, active on both sides of the ball. Obviously, with Tom Thibodeau as your head coach, we're going to be looking to see this Knicks team be great on defense come playoff time. It seems like the standings aren't going to shift at all, and they are going to be matched up with the Cavs in the first round. So I am extremely interested to see how that goes. I'm not really sure how I feel about this Knicks team because I kind of feel it's funny they're matching up in the same round because I kind of feel the same about the Knicks that I do the Cavs, but I digress. The 6th seed in the Eastern Conference is the Brooklyn Nets, and for my X factor, we're going to keep this one sweet and short because their season's a little bit skewed, seeing as they had the, big 3, or not big 3, but they had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving for the first half of the season, and now the roster would probably be on the borderline of the play-in or being a lottery team. But I think the biggest X factor is Nick Claxton. If he showcases any offensive ability whatsoever, paired with his defensive ability, they could maybe find some success. But I'm going to be honest with you, I really think that the 76ers are probably just going to sweep them in the first round. And I hate to say it, but the Nets fans, you can't really expect anything else. You have a great young talent in Mikal Bridges, and you should just be happy with that. The next player is for the Miami Heat, and I think Tyler Hero is the X factor. The Miami Heat were the best three-point shooting team in the league last season. This season, they're the 28th three-point shooting team. Without Duncan Robinson playing most of these games, and a lot of other players like Kyle Lowry and Max Strus are struggling efficiency. Former 6th Man of the Year Tyler Hero is going to have to step up in a big way for this Miami Heat team, and I think that that's just, it goes without saying. I mean, Tyler Hero, he's going to have to play amazing alongside Jimmy Butler. I think we know what version of Jimmy Butler we're going to get come playoff time, but that's just how I feel about that. And we'll keep these last 2 short. I think for the Hawks, it's John Collins. I have talked about the Hawks a lot in the last couple of weeks, so again, I am going to keep this short. I think John Collins was a borderline all-star talent, you know, averaging 20 and 12, 40% from the three. This season, he's averaging 13 and 6. John needs to just continue to be an active lob threat for Trae Young, maybe knock down some threes, and they might have a chance at doing something. I really doubt it. I think if they get matched up with the Bucks as the 8th seed, they'll probably get swept. For the Raptors, I got Scotty Barnes as the X factor. I think that there's been a lot of pressure on him to perform this season, and I think Scotty's incredibly gifted on both offense and defense. If he's performing, if he's playing well, the Raptors could maybe do something. But again, I doubt it if they're versing the Celtics or Bucks. Like, those teams are just so great. Like I said, the Eastern Conference is so top heavy. But what do you guys think? Who is the biggest X factor on your favorite team in the Eastern Conference? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys made it this far, you know I appreciate your support as always. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.